Okay, so the next part to go in is this washer and the chain drive gear. It goes outward like that so these can engage the back of the clutch basket. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil on the inside of that too, just for startup, because it rides freely on the shaft right here. Okay, so we got the sprocket on there. Of course, checking for any damage. I don't see any. I went ahead and got a new chain because I was a little bit stupid with the other one. So go ahead and put that on. It goes on the top first, as it turns out, then you slide the pump in, which I should have recognized, but you know how that goes. If you look on here, it says up, so that's the way it goes. So I'm gonna kind of just hold this chain to keep it where it's supposed to go down there when we get it in place. There we are. Again, these are gonna be torqued to 10 Newton meters. There you go, make sure the chain's not caught up in there or something like that. And it's not. So we'll go ahead and start working from the bottom of the engine now and move on from there, getting the oil pump put in and all those kinds of things that are down there. So up next we're going to put the oil pump and water pump combo back into the engine. That way we can finish out the rest down here and continue on with the build with the engine on its bottom, hopefully. So I actually already rebuilt the pump off camera, put new seals in it, and just checked everything out. Since this engine had some metal go through it, I definitely wanted to check it out. No too big of problems with it. So the way you put these pumps in is first you go down and just set it down. Well, actually it's easier to grab the chain first and work the chain onto the sprocket first, like the very first thing, when you can still move the pump around and whatnot. Can be a little tricky because it's a small chain. Get my fat fingers in there. There we go. Alright, so it's on chain. Next, you get it down flat, so it's like flush with everything. Make sure it still turns. And the whole thing slides into the hole over here on this side, and make sure you get a new gasket, of course, and you know, put a little oil on it like the rest of it. So now we're going to slide the snout of the water pump or inlet into the hole over here. It's going to be a little difficult with the new gasket. There we are. I'm going to make sure the pump still turns freely and the chain's not getting on anything. And then for this pump, there's a pin that goes on this kind of funny looking side over here. It aligns with the hole underneath there because that's what indexes this pump. So the pin here aligns with this hole and the hole underneath it that aligns the whole pump assembly. So that just simply goes into the holes, and you're gonna get a little wiggle one way or the other, or a lot of wiggle, whatever the case may be. There it is. There we are. And then it just has two bolts. The funny shaped one with the big head goes over the the little sleeve, the indexing sleeve, and the regular looking bolt goes over here on this side. But wait, almost forgot a part. It has a little guard that goes over the chain, a little tiny chain guard. Okay, so both of these bolts actually call for a little Loctite, the one in the back and this one. However, not the front one there. Put a little of that on there. Now, it didn't call for any on this bolt, but I'm going to check and look at it and see if they had any on there, because this one felt a little bit like it had Loctite on it when I took it out originally. Yeah, looks like it did. Yeah, so I'm going to put a little bit back on that one too. I'm just using the medium strength that you can get off with tools no problem, because I don't want to get these stuck on there forever, obviously. So these are going to get tightened down to 10 Newton meters, all of these. Okay, so up next we're going to install the oil connector pipe. Go ahead and put some new O-rings on it here. Of course, put a little oil on these too, just to make sure. And I think it helps them seal a little better. I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds good. There we are. These are going to be Loctited and torqued to 10 Newton meters also. Up next, we're going to go ahead and install the water outlet pipe that goes out of the front of the engine. Of course, putting new O-rings on this. Don't want any incidents with water getting in the engine. That would be problematic. Okay, this goes right into the front here, pretty straightforward. You just get it in here and kind of wiggle it a little bit till you get it to where it needs to go. Then it just has one little bolt here that also needs to be Loctited and is going to be torqued down to 10 Newton meters. Okay, the next thing that needs to go in is I guess it's really just an oil control rod, so we'll go ahead and put those in now. So we'll just put this delivery pipe in here. It just goes down in a hole here. Let me see if I can get it without looking. Oh yeah. And it, just like the rest of these, has a single bolt that's going to be torqued down to 10 Newton meters. So up next we'll install this little, not sure what to call it. It's like a drain pipe. I think it goes from the water pump right here down to the bottom of the bike. See if this needs new O-rings. I think it's good to go. So go ahead and get that put back in there. Up next, we'll put the oil strainer back on. Now, there's nothing that says you have to, or even says that you do put case sealant there. I just like to put a little bit, not enough to get anywhere, and just help the suction. I mean, I know it's pretty flat aluminum surface and probably won't have an issue anyway, but I doubt it's going to hurt anything. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the oil pump bolts are also Loctited, because if this falls off, you're not going to have an engine anymore. Okay, and these are also going to be torqued down to 10 Newton meters. You may be getting a theme here on the bottom half. Okay, so we got our oil pump back on. Okay, the last thing here is we just need to pop the pressure relief valve back in. That literally just pops in there and that's done. So we've got the bottom buttoned up now. We'll get the oil pan put on and move on to the next step. Okay, so first we got to put the, I don't know what you call these things, the pins back, followed by a new gasket, even if you were lucky enough to somehow get it off. I always use Yamaha gaskets. They serve me well, and they really don't cost that much more than one of the kits to order the independent gaskets. So this just pops right on here like that, and then we'll start putting the bolts in. Okay, so I went back and looked, and it actually does call for some Loctite on certain bolts, so we need to go ahead and do that. And I'm not sure which ones. The manual's really not clear about it, so when in doubt, Loctite them all. These were the ones that were originally Loctited, the ones in the front. But it doesn't clearly say that in the manual. It's only in one of the diagrams that it even suggested. Okay, so we got them all in now. Now it's time to torque them till you can probably guess it, 10 foot-pounds in a crisscross fashion. Then these two here, I'm just going to put them back for now so I don't lose them because I'm kind of done with this bag. Definitely don't want to drop those down in there right now. This is where the oil level sensor goes, but I don't want the wire in the way of everything right now. I feel like we're a little early on for that. So I think we're missing one bolt there. Yeah. Believe. Yes. So I'm gonna go find a bolt or pull out one of these back ones for now, probably. Okay, so I located the bolt, so we'll go ahead and continue on with this rebuild here. So we got this part done, it's time to move on to the next section.